Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to another episode of Higurashi Sotsu. We're on episode 10, entering the double digits and probably finishing off this arc. I'd be very surprised if it goes to a fifth episode, though technically there is still a lot that happens in the arc. Though you would think not a lot happens with Satoko specifically until the end, but we'll see. I'm actually pretty excited for this episode because last episode I thought was really hype. Getting that early Oishi injection in means that the whole time in Go, when we thought Oishi was helping, he was really a double agent kind of. I mean, he was still helping, but like basically it seems like Oishi's goal is to use Tepe as bait for the curse killer. Um, and he's making him seem more hated. And I just want to see his methodology because I was wondering like what was he gonna do when he visited Tepe if he wasn't gonna arrest him. Um, and we know at the end of uh, no, nothing. Uh at the end of blah 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 start of Neko when Oishi kills everyone, he does like say he's figured out it was Rika who did it, which makes me think that at some points the total points actually, like, instead of him just being crazy and wanting to kill everyone, he just Satoto somehow points him in the direction of Rika as the killer. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited for this. I feel like it'll be interesting to see what they do, especially with how Oishi acts and what's his game plan, because he's already going kind of crazy, but see how he pilots it. But yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Again, timer-based reaction. You need your own copy of the episode to experience this reaction. My copy of the episode is 23 minutes 50 seconds with studio logos in the front, so make sure yours is similar. If yours doesn't have studio logos, you'd have to um, adjust the time, though yours should be shorter, so you can just do that manually. And yeah, should be good. Before we start though, I do have snack. Looks like a cookie. It just says Sapporo, or it might say something else, but it also says Sapporo on it. Let's take a little lesson. Don't drop that. In our handy dandy Valentine's indulgent snack guide. No, I was just looking at people posting pictures of themselves with it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Here it is. Suti Desu cheese cookie. Suti Desu is the way one professes their feelings for another in Japanese, meaning simply "I like you." With a gentle and refreshing mild flavor, the flavors in this Japanese cookie will bring back memories of a first love. No, no. Do I want that? Funny name though. Suki Desu. Cheese, dude. It's like a cheese biscuit. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that smells cheesy. I am a cheese fan, so. Has this box been all hits? This is delicious. It's just a cheese cookie. I mean, I've never had a cheese cookie. I feel like the only thing I didn't really like was, I don't know. I feel like I've liked everything so far. Yeah. Nothing like nothing I thought was like bad at least. Oh damn. This was a good value. I mean, you can't get the box anymore since the month has passed, but if you did, I think you definitely got your money's worth. These are some banger snacks. Definitely better than December. The December was good, but god damn. Anyways, enough stalling. Let's get started. Get your episode ready and start your video in 3, 2, 1, go! Kadokawa. 17 still? Or what's wrong, huh? He's really fucking shit up. Oh! Now he's framing the villagers to create a more intense feud. Yeah, that was in front of Tepe's house. I thought he was blaming Tepe, but now he's stoking both fires. It was those really old guys. Dude, they're so old. Poor dad. Ooh, and Oishi baited them to continue snooping around his lawn to create tension with Tepe. God damn. Well, what was that? Crack in her confidence? Tepe breaking through with wholesomeness? Dreams do come true. So we're in the middle of the child welfare war. Squad up. Where's Tomita? Hey, where's he going? Uh-oh. I wonder what this means, because I wonder what that crack signified. I didn't really get it. Obviously, Sato Tepe is actually like controlling his temper, which is amazing. Interesting. Though we already know the end result where. Well, we don't know what happens with Keiichi and Tepe. If Keiichi does actually just kill Tepe, which like might just happen, because I can see like Tepe misunderstanding and Keiichi coming into the house to like harass Satoto. Maybe like I don't know, maybe it pushes Satoto. Maybe Satoto does have reservations, even though it literally doesn't seem like that at all from what we've seen. So I don't know, actually. Hmm. All right, no more munching, but that was delicious. Bam bam bam. Bam 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 bam. All right, let's go. What else, Oishi? I forgot all this stuff happened. To be honest, they probably showed the aftermath of Oishi's trickery, but I mean, Oishi's always bended the rules to try to get the results he wants, but this is a little more direct. Okay, so this was meeting with the bid boss, talking with the headband, dude. Haven't seen her in a while, to be honest. Don't think she'll have much of a role this next season, but it's nice to see, I guess. Oh, Rika. So unfortunate. Oh, this is the meeting where he has to talk with Keiichi. I didn't notice him scratching his neck, if they showed that before. Uh, uh, it does fit with Oishi's character, to be honest, to believe wild theories. He's did that a lot in the OG story. It's elaborate theory time. I mean, it kind of made sense, but I remember him saying that. Yeah, Oishi has a tendency to believe long theories like that, so I liked how they do people with high syndrome in this, still reflecting on their character. This is the blow. Okay, we're definitely finishing the arc, by the way. It's going fast. Ooh. So this is his conversation. Where's a little more Adra? Where it looks so much more evil for a second. Hmm. But he's still good, man. I wonder why he's letting it go through. I guess he just really trusts in Maibara. Keiichi. Interesting. I guess he still has that respect for him he gained in Minaduroshi. Because he doesn't consider him a part of the village yet. Nope. Oh, he got the lawsuit ready. They're coming in. The stronghold, man. Tomotaki getting a good scoop. What's happening? I think she's actually enjoying herself, maybe. And this makes it interesting. This is the answer to why we didn't have that phone call we have in Minagoroshi. Because it actually, because Satoko wouldn't be able to pretend with Tepe there, right? Uh-huh. I love how he believes Tepe, but he's still using him as bait. Which is crazy. Bro. I never seen this scene. I never had any doubt about Oishi, to be honest. It's crazy. Hey, Komeda goes where he wants, okay? Okay. Let's see what this happens. What happens here? Okay. Okay, interesting. So they're going for this angle. Nah, bro. I mean, it's you can't really say nah because the village literally does do that regularly to Satoko, just not actively harassing her. Ooh. So we can use it to properly investigate the village, eh? I get it. That's his big plan. He doesn't need them specifically as bait, but he can use this. But he should not use them as bait. Well, his aunt suffered it, or his wife suffered the curse. Interesting, he's warning. I guess he just wants him to stay in the same place to make it easy to catch. So Dogo's acting a little different. Is she actually having reservations about this? It's kind of crazy. Specifically from her attitude last episode. And now she just lies about it. I'm surprised that Sonozaki's didn't get get word of the truth of what happened, to be honest. Oh, drugged again. Interesting. I guess he needs to be drugged for Satoko to go out. But are we just trying to watch her leave? So will that really work? Hey, this is before Rick even learns about the Takano stuff. Why is she so confident? I mean, I guess they always win the Takano stuff now. Dun dun dun, red eyes. Well, she's definitely not hesitating. Because that clearly shows that she's fine with it. The rare Shion. Oh yeah, and Satoko wears her new drip, right? Special is one way to put it. It is a great scene. Look how cool she looks leaning like that. Is she gonna do something to him? Looks like she's playing her hand. Hmm, that's a good point. Oh no, poor Tepe. Uh, she's going for it. Okay. What? The gun! The. Whoa. Well, oh, okay. So Tepe did. Wait. Question mark? Huh? Oh shit, is like Satoko fighting against. Oh. Oh shit, what the fuck? This fragment Satoko is fighting back. Oh. Oh. Ah. Okay, I wasn't expecting this. Oh. What is happening? The fragment is breaking. What the heck? Oh shit! Huh? The real Satoko. True. Oh. Oh. OST bumping? No! Don't do it! Oh man. Kinda lost for words. Oh, no, man. But what was the scene of Satoko crying? Oh, okay, so Satoko just. Wait. Oh, that's how Teichi. Oh, I think I know. So, Tepe was already dead when Teichi entered the room, and then maybe Satoko knocks him out, and there wasn't a real struggle or something? Oh my god, wait. Huh. Oh, well, there's the red face. Or maybe the Teichi scene doesn't happen at all. I get it, I think. Maybe I don't. Wait, no, because this is why she. Never mind. This is why she changes into the new drip with Rika. Oh my god. Ew. Yo! There is a part 5. Okay. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Hey, did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming. That was insane. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let's go over it. Waste no time, because we definitely need to go over stuff. But first, we gotta start at the beginning. I think we can go through pretty easily. So, we see Oishi continuing his tomfoolery. Though I'm interested in why he I guess like he needs both the parties on edge for his plan to work. Of basically making Tepe forcing Tepe to be the next curse target, putting garbage on their lawn. Um Obviously Tepe's mad about that. And then we see the crack and I was like, when I first saw it, I'm like, is Satoko like regretting her action? And I mean, the answer is kind of yes, but kind of no. We go back to the CWS stuff. Um, welfare stuff. I mean, we've been through that before, but we get to see Owishi's perspective through the Watchanadashi meeting, where again we get his true feelings and his theory about what's happening. How Teichi's Teichi's a good person. He's falling right into the trap of the villagers of helping them harass Satoto. Um, and he's doing it unwillingly. And I commented this, but I do love how they do these new targets for the curse have been like they've like adapted their personalities well. Because if you know the original story of Higurashi, Oishi does believe in wild um theories as long as it helps solve the curse. Obviously, the biggest one is Rena's alien. Well, he didn't know about the alien part, but the Sonozakis are making a chemical weapon theory, which is, I don't know, just from hearing that, it should be pretty obviously fake. And I thought Oishi was just joking for a while, but it turns out he actually believes the theories, so it matches his character. So I thought that was cool. And it was fun getting Oishi's commentary throughout. Um, Anyways, Skippy. And then we get to see Owishi's master plan of, okay, protests work, but then he gets to show the child welfare service officer that the house is just fine and the villagers are just bullying Satoto. And he does believe it because Hinamizawa does have that reputation, which is interesting. But his main goal from this was to get get control of the case so he can properly investigate stuff that happens. And I believe he can also use it as a prop to investigate this harassment claims. Probably like use it to investigate the Sonozatis more. Obviously, none of this plays out because of what happens the day after, but I believe that's his like rationale getting that. And of course, he made sure that they stay at their house during the Watanashi to keep them at in an area so they can tighten security, or not even security, just surveillance, because it's much more easier if they're in one spot the whole night to surveil, obviously, and catch the criminal, right? Also, since we're skipping fast, yes, more crats throughout the show with Satoto's perspective. We see how the phone calls play out when Satoto phone called Keiichi and then apparently Rika. Um, and this made sense why we didn't get the Satoto phone call scene earlier once the protest was successful, like we did in Minagoroshi, because that would just blow Satoto's cover. She wouldn't be able to do it. Um, because it's not like she can fake the phone call from Minagoroshi, since there was a lot of elements of one Teppei being right there, holding her hostage. But even if she tries to act, Teppei will think it's off, so it doesn't really work. But yeah, calls Rika, knocks out Teppei with sleeping drugs. Where is she getting these drugs, man? I don't know. Yoinking them from Irie, maybe. Um, Club getting together. Then okay. This, I mean, I'm sorry we kind of sped through, but this is like the important stuff. Teppei wakes up earlier than expected. Rika's coming over, so Satoto um does have to deal with him, I guess, because she is playing the part where the Danko's gone and he decides to kill her. Obviously, she has her pistol because she has a gun in every fragment. It's just kind of a prerequisite. Then we see what those cracks mean, because once we saw her like plan to kill her, I was like, okay, I guess the cracks aren't significant of Satoko hesitating. But they are. It's not Satoko though. It's like another Satoko. And isn't it like very convenient that recently a commenter was talking about this throughout the series with different people actually. We talked about the idea of lambda delta, If you don't know who that is, that's basically a witch in Umineko who kind of acts like Sotoko, and we know Brincasto is actually Rita, so the main idea, especially with this whole new run, is Sotoko is Lambda, though I guess it's not completely confirmed, according to a commenter. But I mean, and we even made this, we even talked about this in the last episode, right? When Featherine was having this conversation. Um, I was basically saying, well, I don't think Satoto's like this. Satoto is a different entity yet. She's either close to it or she is, and I feel like this just confirms that she is. Like it's just perfect, right? Like so there's two entities. There's the whole Rika Brincasto situation, which we have a uh, very clear grasp on, is what I was trying to say. Is Brincasto is basically this manifestation of Rika's constant looping that kind of lives in an above plane that just watches Rika from below. Um, so we can assume this like super evil Sotoko is another entity that's manifested through loops. It is technically not Lambda Delta, but it does seem like it is another entity, and that was the whole struggle, right? The original Sotoko, the true Sotoko, finally realizing, hey, my Unto is great. And like after all these loops, like I said, if Sotoko didn't mess with them, they would be fine loops. Besides the Rika problem, but with all this, um, uh, this fuckery, I don't know how else to put it. She's breaking these perfect loops, which would be great. Which would be actually just perfect. Everyone would be happy. Obviously, besides the Rita situation, but she's basically sacrificing worlds to to um to I guess achieve the goal of changing Rita's mind. But when you actually look at it, and I'm glad Satoto's getting perspective. She's killing people. She's trying to mentally break Rita from leaving Hinamizawa. Like that's obviously not the not the route you want to go to get back to a world with a perfect friendship. So it's a very interesting scene. I mean I don't know how that's not confirmation of Lambda Delta. I guess we'll have to wait until the series ends, but like isn't it? Like I mean it's at least it's something. It's a witch side forming from Satoto. The red eyes is the witch, and the normal eyes is like the original Satoto, and all this looping has created the. I guess like the bigger confusion is it's. I mean, and this is the interesting part because this didn't happen with Castle because I'm guessing because Castle and Rita always had the same goal. It's not like Castle did anything that would Rita would really disagree with. Obviously, she does do some stuff like kill herself or just give up on worlds, which I guess Rita probably wouldn't want, but it's nothing as drastic as what Satoto's doing. Um, aka killing loved and cherished ones. So I don't know. I mean I wasn't it was awesome. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know what those cracks meant. I mean you're kind of half right. And it's interesting because this isn't because originally I thought this was just the Satoko of this fragment fighting back, but no, this is the original spirit of Satoko because she talks to Feathering, she knows, she like acknowledges her looping mistakes. So this is the Satoko we know from Minaguro Shion, and this new evil Satoko is another entity that's formed through the constant looping and warping of her minds. So yeah, I think even though it's not like 100% confirmed, I'm not even talking about Lambda Delta. This is like this is the forming of a Berncastle like entity. Um, Obviously this is much rougher than the Berncastle one because of the conflict of interests in the two. But yeah, I guess does I mean it's not like, but I guess Berncastle does fully take control of her targets eventually in okay, it's interesting. Thinking about to the Berncasto entity, we've had one situation where Berncasto was in fully control of Rita in Higurashi, and that was in Mina Doroshi, because like young Rita ended up just like spacing out back to normal sometimes. So I guess this is the early stages, so maybe the no, but it's not the same. It's maybe it's not the same. I don't know. I'm confusing myself because the Satoko fighting back is aware of the loops while the OG no, it is the same. It is the same. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. It's so hard to like properly talk and analyze these situations. Okay, right. I'm confusing myself. It is the same because you have Berncasto who's watching the whole scene from a higher plane. Then you have Rita who knows she's looping with Hanyu. And Hanyu and Rita are not aware of Berncasto. That's what's happening. This is like a similar thing where it's Satoko. Which Satoko appears, but instead of and she's watching Satoko loop. Wait, I want to draw a graph, but I don't want to draw a graph. It's hard because we don't have the creation of Berncasto. Okay, wait. Let's start again. Rita, she loops. Eventually, through these loops, an entity called Berncasto is created, who just watches Rita through the loops. She doesn't interact really, I think. She's mainly just an observer. Or maybe she does interact. I don't know. Whatever. But she's created through the constant loops. Same thing with Satoko, loops. Her personality changes. You can call it a separate entity. But instead of just watching, it kind of fights with Satoko and like hijacks her looping, kind of. I guess. I don't know. We can literally talk about this all day and probably get nowhere. Damn, that's cool though. Satoko does lose in the end. Mainly because Featherine is also on the side. So Featherine was anticipating this evil Satoko forming. Which means maybe, like, while entertainment is also a goal, maybe she wanted to create this separate entity? I guess? Maybe? Is that a goal? And then we see, okay, back to the story. We see Satoko beating up Tepe with a bat. I thought maybe this was an indication that Keiichi never did it and the fragments all just effed up because of the whole fighting back. But I think the better answer is Satoko kills Tepe. She changes clothes. That's why she changes clothes, washes up, brings Keiichi to the house, and I just knocks him out. And then they find Keiichi and Tepe there with the bat, and Tepe's all beat up. And they assume Keiichi fought back. I think that's actually how it's gonna play out. Though I don't know why Keiichi sees it differently, to be honest. Maybe it's powers of Satoko fucking with the fragment now that this witch form has fully taken control of her conscious. And the interesting thing is, a very interesting thing is, even though it seems like Satoko is gone, I don't think she's fully gone because in Neko, we eventually see a Satoko after Rita dying a bunch of times. We see a Satoko going crying after Rita now that it's her turn to kill Rita. Maybe that's like a sign that this this Satoko, even though it looks like evil witch Satoko just killed normal Satoko, maybe she still has some life in her, and that was her pleading for Rita to just come back, I guess. Yeah. Also, it was really sad to see Tepe get shot while crying. Feels bad, man. Yeah, what an episode, man. That episode was hype. I don't know about this situation, man. I mean, it's really cool, even though I don't fully get it. Um, that the Satoko, at least the Satoko we know and love, realizes her actions are wrong. You know, she went down the wrong path, etc., etc. She regrets this happening, even though she can't change it. And yeah, I mean, it's kind to, it's kind of funny, compare this to Mineko. Not even like with Lambda Delta, but it's kind of like how Burn Castle and Lambda Delta hijacked Beatrice's game, even though it's she was the maker. She was kind of powerless against the two, and they just take control of it. It's kind of like with Feathering, even though this was quote unquote Satoko's plan. Um, she's booted out, and now she's replaced with a whole different entity who has a twisted version of the same goal. And Feathering, who's just there for the tits, I guess. But yeah, what a crazy episode. I don't know. Maybe I'll think about more about what this means. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, the clear cut answer is similar um similar instance to Rika and Berncasto. This is like the birth of the Berncasto equivalent to Lambda Delta. To Satoko. I mean, I'm trying to be non-conclusive. Um, and this but instead of like being Berncasto, well, where they kind of shared goals with the Looper, this one doesn't share the goal anymore, so it's just hijacking Satoko's conscious. But I guess you can maybe you can say that like in the beginning Satoko was the majority personality and this was the minority that was slowly growing, and now this is taking control. So it's now Satoko just gets more malicious from here, and that's why she like targets all these new people. Because like again, you can see Satoko slowly straying off her path. Obviously, you can say from the start of the looping, but when she like injects Mion for like curiosity, like the Rena thing, it kind of made sense, right? For a goal, but Mion, you're kind of splitting that goal of keeping Rika there, and oh, I wonder what happens. And now again with Owishi, it's like, oh, you have this clear way to do it, but then you're like, oh, let's just put Owishi into the mix. And it's like, and we see the curiosity spread how she's just playing around with the world. But anyways, I think that's enough. Awesome, awesome scene. I feel bad for my girl now, you know, as a Satoko stan. I For me it was pretty hard to stand with Satoko throughout the new series, but I feel it now. I'm glad at least we can acknowledge that Satoko at least realizes she was wrong and would be happy finding a different way and living a happy life with wholesome Tepe. But now she can't. She's locked out because of Feathering and Witch version. But yeah, awesome episode, dude. Dude, oh man, this episode was so good. And the art's not even over, dude. I just showed the Wishi stuff and the Keiichi stuff. Even without getting the Keiichi stuff, this episode was awesome. Just because I wasn't expecting. Maybe you were expecting something like this to happen. I wasn't expecting it because we didn't see anything like this with Rita's case. So this was um, a great surprise once again. Thank you, Higurashi. What a fun time. But next time, episode 11, we'll definitely finish off the arc this time and see what happens with Keiichi. Satoko is now fully dark side, no going back until maybe later, hopefully by the end of the series. Normal Satoko breaks through. Cause I don't know, whatever. We'll see, we'll see. No, if I can literally like talk about this this thing that happened forever, but probably won't get anywhere with it. And I've pretty much said what I wanted to say. But yeah, let me know what you think of the episode. Definitely a banger. I'll see you guys next time on Wednesday. Well, that's when the video uploads. I don't know if you'll watch it specifically, but yeah, see you next time. Bye. Sorry, we're back. Quit the things just because I turned it off, but then I'm like, I still want to talk. uh, now I realize in the intro why it shows Satoto running away and fading into the black and Rita raising her hand to stop her, or to rescue her. It's not because of this Satoto, it's because of the Satoto that's being taken over. So Rita's rescuing Satoto. So I get that. That was cool. I don't know. Anything else? So I don't have to turn this on and then. Um, like going back to Lambda Delta. Well, Lambda Delta is like a vicious personality. She wasn't like this. Witch side we're seeing of Satoto almost seems a little too much. I feel like Lambda Delta was more of like a more chill. So maybe by the end of this, I don't think Rita's gonna kill Satoto with the looping sword thingy, but maybe she can bring Satoto's, the Satoto we know and love's conscious back as the dominant vessel. So even though they're loopers, they're level headed, and maybe they will just live in peace and have a happy life. That's my final prediction. Final prediction. I'm actually predicting a happy ending where I mean I don't know what they're gonna do about Featherine. Maybe Hanyu will just crush her with a giant cream puff. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Mainly it was just the opening thing because I was thinking about it before. Um but yeah, cool. Well, we'll see it. The Satoto Rita team up versus Feathering plus Hanyu on the Gank. That's what I'm hoping for eventually. But yeah, just wanted to say that. Actually, have a good night this time. Bye.